Hello, Michael. Add to this. There you are.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi.
How
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm great. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm
Very
so
well.
excited to be doing this with you.
Yeah, me too. Very,
So
very.
we should be streaming on Facebook
Okay.
in my business page.
Okay.
So anyway, welcome to why don't you move over just a little bit to the left? Ah,
That better? Or I can
there,
just change it.
that's
There we go.
perfect. All
Good.
right. Let
Excellent.
me,
Yeah, I've
I'll
actually
put my
got a
chair.
banner behind me. Give me one. I could move
I
that even so you could see this.
see, let me go up here in
There
my
we go.
chair.
I've been doing
I
I've been
like
doing a
it.
lot of virtual presentations, so
Oh, I bet, right?
yeah.
We
Yeah.
all
New
are. It's
world.
all crazy.
New world, definitely.
New world, definitely. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm
And
happy to be here.
yeah, and I was thinking that I know the questions I sent. Did you see the questions I sent you?
I did, yes. Yep.
Okay. It probably threw you off because you're thinking to yourself, okay, how do we navigate around this? What's your story? So I actually do love the fact that you are the president of Pool Scouts. And even though you didn't create the company, I would love to hear the story, two stories to begin with. One is what got you into franchising? Because I looked at your resume
Yeah.
and
I'm a
and
corporate person for the most part.
exactly. And
Yeah.
also I think it's interesting you were a banker. So
I was.
because of the craziness that's going on in the world, obviously one of the things we need to talk about is what is Pool Scouts doing with the COVID and how are they helping the people,
Yeah.
the existing franchise
Yeah.
owners.
Yeah. A lot of
But
questions there.
so let's start with how did you get into franchising? Welcome to our world.
Thank you. No, it's been a blessing. I'm very fortunate to be in it, first of all. I came on board with Buzz Franchise Brands in 2015 to build the second brand. Buzz Franchise Brands started in 2012 with the beginning of Mosquito Joe. And
Mhm.
Kevin Wilson, who is our CEO, and I have been friends for a long time and acquaintances and had similar travel backgrounds. And we actually met, our children are both sophomores in college.
Oh boy.
Yes, we met at a birthday party a long time ago, and he had traveled extensively. And my second, but real career when I got out of college was working for a small company that was called Coastal Training Technologies. And we produced and sold training media and delivered training to mostly manufacturing companies in the US when I started with the company. And that was the business. And it was industrial safety and environmental compliance and human resource
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
training media. So when I came on board with the company, it was just a whim to take this job, and it worked out to be a perfect scenario because what I ended up doing was starting all of our international offices around the globe. So we had subsidiaries in Europe and South America and in Asia, and then we had resellers of the stuff that we did around them as well. So while they weren't franchise locations, they were corporate owned subsidiaries. We were doing the same thing, albeit in different cultures and countries around the world. And so
That will serve you well, by the way, in the future.
it was great. It was great experience because we were developing, on top of that, we were developing the playbook for how to do this over and over again. And so that was the model building that we did there. And it was a fun, unbelievable ride. We ended up selling the company to DuPont. And so I worked 16 and a half years for Coastal Training Technologies, and then I worked for 3 years for DuPont. And
Nice.
it's interesting to begin with. When we sold the company, we had 650 employees around the world, and we became part of an entity that had 77,000 employees around the world. So very different environment, and decision making was obviously much more narrow, very structured, and it was just a very different environment. And I just realized one of the things I love to do is to start businesses and to build. I'm much more interested in the growth side of businesses than the efficiency later on stages of business. So I worked for DuPont for three years and had a couple opportunities that were great, but it just timing wasn't right for me and my family. One was to move to Singapore and work for the business. And
oh boy.
So anyways, I got an opportunity to come in and work for a large credit union. Totally change in pace, but the credit union I worked for had 62 branches across the country, a pretty good population of those in Utah, that three credit unions had been acquired out there. And the joining of this credit union was to help build a growth and marketing and sales strategy for the organization. Credit unions traditionally are very service oriented organizations. So that was the how it was sold to me, the job. And really it was interesting, but it ended up being a lot of efficiency driving more so than growth oriented type stuff. And so anyways, I ended up leaving that organization to come on board with Pool Scouts. And I had stayed in touch with Kevin all along, and he told me, we're going to build a second company. Would you like to come and help do that? It just was perfect timing for me. And I came on board in September. We launched Pool Scouts officially January 4th, 2016.
Nice.
So come on in 2015. And we did something different in that we launched the company and franchising at the same time. So we made a very small acquisition of a pool service arm of a construction company in Virginia Beach, Virginia, that had 31 customers, 2 vehicles, and 1 really solid technician. From there, we built our system and our model around that. And so
I think that is so interesting, because one of the things that we do at the franchise consulting company is we help companies that decide they have an idea and they want to do a franchise. They want to turn it into a franchise. And so I love the idea that it's always serendipity. So what prompted you guys to even look at this particular brand? Was it a friend of somebody, or?
We had decided that we had Mosquito Joe, which was a home service business that the model was based on recurring revenue. It was a franchise that initially could be operated out of the home. It's like the lower cost investment from a franchising perspective. And really, we looked at a lot of industries, and the pool service industry was one that was very fragmented, and it was in need of a more professional approach to it. Made the decision to move in that direction. And so we've never created the pool service industry. The residential pool service is what we focus on. But we certainly had, right from the very beginning, an eye to a much more professional approach to a traditionally very unprofessional industry.
And so that's what we're so good at, right? In the franchise industry, that's just our hallmark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And just so many other businesses that are out there. There's a lot of mom and pop. There are 56,000 pool service companies in America. Many of those have traditionally been family-oriented businesses that may not have a transition plan to move to the next generation. And so another reason to really create a great franchise brand that offers usually better resale opportunities and those kinds of things in the future. So that's how I came on board. And since then, we've been building. We have 16 franchisees across the country. We're in 8 different states. We have 42 territories that are sold, of which 31 are open.
That's fantastic.
We're in a very blessed situation right now, Phyllis, that we are deemed essential services in the country. So
so you're still, people are still
we
working.
are growing at we're 74% over last year's numbers, with no new franchisees that have launched yet this year. It's a real all organic growth that's grown on with our existing system. And believe it or not, we had a new franchisee sign today.
Oh, wow.
And they're not going to open up till next year, which I think we'll see a lot of kind of postpone openings.
Is that because the person's gainfully employed, or?
Actually, with this particular candidates, they had purchased 2 different franchises at the same time. They were going to be for a little bit, and they made the decision to want to push their opening until next year. And with everything going on, we're said that seems to work okay.
Yeah,
a great market, Charlotte, North Carolina, which is
nice.
Awesome market. So we're super excited about that. I do my report every Sunday night, and I look at all the numbers. Not that I don't look at them during the course of the week, but it's been very, very solid. People are at home. Their pools are a refuge from the reality of things. Properly chlorinated pools, which include sanitizers of 3 parts per million for chlorine, kill the virus. And so it is something that people, like I said, families are at home. In our seasonal markets where we are, people are calling us up and saying, I want my pool open tomorrow. in front. And then in the year-round markets, of course, they're continuing to service their pools.
Speaking of one of the year-round markets, I happen to be in California.
I know, yeah.
And I noticed that is one of your target markets. Now, are you guys registered here in California?
We are registered in California, albeit we're refiling our FDD today. So we'll go through the small waiting period, as we always do with the state of California and the state of New York and the state of Maryland and whatever. But we're refiling this week. We waited until the timing was right, of course.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
But California is the largest state from a residential pool owner's perspective. There are 850,000 residential pool owners in the state.
Wow.
So next is Florida with 750,000. Third place is Texas with about 455 or so, but growing very fast. Growing area is Texas.
Oh, I'm sure. Everybody's going to Texas.
Arizona and New York, believe it or not, which those are the top 5 states for us. And most of the New York pools are in Long Island and that eastern area as well.
Oh, it's so beautiful up there too.
It is.
Yeah. So that is fantastic. I'm going to have to definitely start getting my feelers out of people in California that are looking for a great opportunity that is a necessity, right?
Yeah.
Which we're all going to be zeroing in on those particular brands that people have to have good times or bad times. Is there anything in particular that you're having to do to help your franchisees since yours is necessary?
Yeah, well, so we're doing a lot around the positioning of safety when it comes to both our customers and ultimately our franchisees and their technicians. One of the things that we added right from the beginning was a sanitizing service, a service that sanitizes all the surfaces that are in and around the pool that we come in contact with.
Okay.
And literally, we were doing it in our corporate office while we were still working there. We had a protocol in place to spray a bleach solution on everything and really try and make sure we were taking care of it. We said, this is something we should be doing across our system. So we did a video, got it out to the system, got it out. And then we've had multiple communication points with our franchisees and ultimately their customers to communicate to them some different messages. Number one, we're really taking care of our employees to make sure that they're safe.
They're safe, right?
With the proper PPE, we're teaching them the right things to do. And oh, by the way, here's what we're doing when we're at your house. And in a nice way, we're saying to them, please don't come out and talk to us. We're outside of your house.
Yeah.
Providing our service. If you need to communicate with us, you can pick up the phone. We have people that are ready, willing, and able to answer your questions. All of our billing processes and all those kinds of things are virtual and automatic in nature. So really we've seen that communication go out. And then for the franchisee, we have 3 levels of marketing to get new customers. We do direct mail that are targeted to the specific households, and we do digital marketing, which includes search engine optimization and the pay-per-click and all that side of things. And then traditionally, there's a lot of community-oriented marketing.
Right, of course, isn't happening.
That part's not happening. So we've told them that. We said, you know what? You really have to rely on your digital and your direct mail. And if you can do anything virtually community-oriented, great. But you can't sponsor the little soccer team or the baseball team because they're not playing right now and they're not out there. You can't do the B&I meetings or Chamber of Commerce meetings because they're not out there. So really it's been coaching the franchisees as well on how do you stay in front of the customers? How do you make sure you retain all of your customers? And then we also talk about this 10-year relationship that when the phone rings for the first time with a prospective customer, that's the beginning of a 10-year relationship. So we know some of our customers are going to have some rough times. 10 million people over the past couple of weeks that lost their jobs. We're not in this for the short term. So work with your customers to figure out the best way that they can continue to get their pool service, that you work with them on whatever they need to be worked with on to retain that customer relationship and do right by you as the owner and by the brand as well. So we just have such a fabulous group of franchisees that it's easy to do that.
So do your owners is there any opportunity for them in what the help the government is doing that can help them offset their receivables?
Yeah, yeah. Receivables haven't traditionally been an issue because most of our franchisees keep a credit card on file for services rendered.
Okay,
And
right.
so there's
Oh,
not a
okay,
whole lot
good.
of chasing money on this on the part of a business owner.
I don't think I didn't say that right then. It wasn't necessarily the receivables, but it was the fact that it could be some of their customers can't pay.
Yeah, yeah. So really we have, and this has been one of the massive advantages we have of being part of Buzz Franchise Brands. We
Mm.
have two other brands, British Swim School, which is completely shut down right now. That's
Yeah,
teaching children how to swim in leased pool space. It's a great business model, but we're not doing any of it right now across the
right.
country. And that's 105 locations across the US and Canada
Wow.
that are closed down right now.
Yep.
Then we have Home Clean Heroes, which is a budding new brand for us, where we have one franchisee and a corporate location.
Oh, good grief.
So we have a lot of shared services, people,
Mhm.
and knowledge in our corporate team, and we've been able to take those messages and get them out across all three brands. But to answer your question, things like the PPP program that just came out,
Mm.
the ability to retain staff, we have coached our franchisees on here's how you can go apply for these things. If you need extra terms, Ford Credit that we do most of our lease vehicles with,
Mhm.
franchisees, they take care of that. They have the ability to extend the payment cycle. So we
Good.
give them a lot of resources,
Mm.
webinars across all three brands to educate them on the different financing options that are out there, giving them contacts as well. Even in the case of right out of the gate with British Swim School, before everybody was closed, I had to close for their royalties, and we worked with
Nice.
them on the additional fees that they had to defer those fees until a later time. Really just trying to, because we're, once again, our message here, Phyllis, is we're not in this for the short term.
Yes.
Fortunately, as a company, we have been very prudent in making sure that we have the capital necessarily get through the storm, to continue to weather the challenges that we have, and understand that long-term relationship with our franchisees. And Pool Scouts has been lucky to be part of that overall picture and been able to communicate all those messages to our franchisees too.
Yeah, isn't that great? It's interesting because I live in Mission Viejo, California, and I belong to the chamber. And we did a happy hour last week. And of course, we were talking about what's going on and what resources were available and how could the chamber help. And one of the things I said during the happy hour is I said, here's where franchising is such a benefit, and people don't realize that, good grief, the IFA is so busy out
Yeah,
there
yeah,
putting out information and making sure that the senators and the Congress and everybody knows how powerful we are in franchising. And these other people that are on their own are rallying around to try and help each other, which is wonderful. And they're great people. You just, again, it's why I love franchising.
yeah.
It's so powerful, and you're just not in there by yourself anymore.
We've seen that some of the most gratifying things to me are to see when your franchisees individually come up with ideas that they share across the system. There is
Mhm.
a funding opportunity, whether it is a safety concern or way that they can
Sure.
safeguard their own technicians or employees or vehicles. See
Mhm.
that sharing amongst the franchisees. We have an intranet system. We use FranConnect like many franchise
Mhm.
systems do, but it really gives them a voice and an opportunity to share
Yep.
little video clips. It allows us to get messages out there so quickly. And Phyllis, to your point, we're able to share, because we have these three brands, we're able to share this knowledge
Yes.
quickly and
Quickly.
give people action items and get everybody moving to the same direction,
Mhm.
without having to go out and do all this research on their own, which takes time. And often they're sitting there running their business. In our case, they're growing super fast, and we're seeing lots of customer acquisition, and yet they want to make sure that they retain those customers,
Of course.
every single one of them. So it's very hands-on. So it's
Mhm.
really, really nice to have that strength of our overall Buzz Franchise Brands company behind us too.
Absolutely. So, what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you before this all happened, for you with your franchise, with a prospective franchisee? Because I know that preconceived notions are so huge. And what would you say is the biggest preconceived notion that people have about Pool Scouts that you're able to dispel for them?
think what I love to see, and I think we've gotten better at this over time, is really setting the expectations appropriately for franchisees coming to start a business. Many franchisees have never started a business before in
Right.
their lives. And so while we give them structure and operating procedures and a business model to follow and take a lot of the guesswork out of play, there's got to be a realistic expectation as far as I'm investing and building in a business. And one of the beautiful things about our model is we have a recurring service model.
Yes.
Usually we're out servicing people's pools.
You're a needed service. Yes.
It's predictable. And you build here and you build there. And we know that across our system last year, we averaged nearly $1,000 per customer. And so for annual revenue. So when I talk to a franchisee or a prospective franchisee about that, and you say, okay, you just attracted 4 new customers last week. That's $4,000 you've added to your business and the top line of things. But getting their expectations to know when they should be making money, how they should be investing appropriately in the growth of their business, that is a challenge, and finding the right people that have that more strategic mindset. Our business model works like many franchise systems, but we sell up to 3 territories per franchisee. Our territories consist of a minimum of 8 to 12,000 target households. And those target households,
okay.
Yep. 8 to 12,000 target households that are single family homes, in-ground pool in the backyard.
Yep.
And then a target income of over $75,000. We're not going to sell to anybody that's outside of that criteria.
Yeah.
So it's so the way they work, we sell up to 3 territories. Year 1, you open your first territory. Year 2, you open your second. That year 2 is usually 12 months later. It's not the second calendar year ending. Because really our objective is you really want to go deep. You don't want to go wide, right? You want to drive as little as possible and service as much as possible.
And I think that's one of the beauties of franchising too, is that they know exactly who the customer is. Like you say, it's a qualified household. You're not going to be wasting a lot of direct mail sending to apartment buildings that you don't have your customers, and they know the numbers.
Yep.
And while there's legalities around you telling somebody how much money they can make, or me telling somebody how much money they can make, the reality is they are going to figure it out. I'm going to help guide them to ask the right questions so they can get to those answers. But it's really for them also to go back to what is it they want to do.
Yeah.
And would having a business like this where you're helping people and making their life nicer, and boy, right now, aren't you providing a nice service?
Sure.
But the other thing I wanted to touch on too, when I was doing some research, that was the DIY do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah.
People are so cautious, and I have a grandbaby that's 18 months old, and she's a very busy girl, and she's into everything. And so I was listening to you and talk about them, people going and getting their water tested and then picking up the chemicals and bringing those chemicals home. That could be a huge hazard. So I would think that, but you have to educate people. Yes.
Yeah, they put it in their garage next to the kids' bikes or toys.
Yeah.
Or they put it in the shed. And on top of that, they're buying a bucket like this that they're only administering what's 1 scoop.
Wow.
One of the things we talk to our franchisees about is, listen, when we go out to a pool, we only charge for the 1 scoop, and the pricing that we charge is pretty comparable to what you buy at whatever your stores are that you have. In some cases, it's a Leslie's or a Pinch a Penny or there's lots of different stores that are out there across the country, but you're not storing those hazardous chemicals at your home. And then most importantly, we're experts at it. We know what we're doing.
That's right.
Not trial and error. And we're giving you back your time. I think when we look at our high-level brand proposition, we talk about that. We say we're giving our customers back their time. So they're not spending an hour and a half on the weekend cleaning their pool. They're spending the time enjoying it with their loved ones and family.
And I think in today's world, with everybody at home and the world has been totally turned upside down, I'm hoping that people are going to all of a sudden realize what they've been missing. And they're actually having dinner with family, and you're having conversations. And I know we're playing games around here. Who's playing Uno and all of that stuff, right? So we're doing things differently because we have to stay here. We're stuck.
It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. You
Yeah.
start to value those conversations, the personal conversations you have. My
Mhm.
daughter, who's a sophomore at Virginia Tech,
Is
uh,
she home now?
she's home. It's
Mhm.
also interesting the adjustments you make because I'm in my office here and we have a desk over here. She was working this morning she's doing some work and we were like, I'm like, you gotta be quiet, I'm on a call. But we're trying to figure those situations out. But I do feel like
Yep.
the personal connections and the time together, I think that is, you always try to look for the silver lining. I do really believe
Absolutely.
that is just a great thing. I've got my family of four. We decided to pick up my daughter came home from Blacksburg, Virginia on Friday. She was up
Mhm.
there doing her self studies and whatever, but she came home with a puppy. So we now have a puppy in the family.
Oh, that
So
is so sweet.
so we're dealing with that in the house.
And that's like having a 2-year-old
Oh
around.
my goodness. I forget. You forget.
Yeah,
Just
she
like children,
do
about all
forget.
those things, and then you have more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but it's a blessing though to have that time with your family. And honestly, I think we have a pool and we're in Virginia Beach right now. I think I don't know, it was 52 degrees and rainy this morning.
Yep.
I
It's
opened up
raining
my
here in
pool.
Mission Viejo.
I opened up my pool 2 weeks ago and I've not been in the water, nor has anybody else yet because it's pretty cold still. But still, it's something you sit out by the pool and you have a conversation.
Yeah, it's
You bring your
nice.
sandwiches out there during lunch and you have a
That's
conversation.
right.
So
Even if you're wearing a
it's
sweatshirt, it's okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Listen, thank you so much. I really have appreciated this.
Me too.
It's been delightful to get to know you. I hope that I will be able to see you face to face one of these days. I've
We
been
will.
invited out a couple of times to Buzz Brands, and for reasons of lots of travel last year, I wasn't able to make it, but I look forward to coming out this year at probably towards the end of the year to see
We'd
you
love
guys in
to. Yeah,
person.
we're trying to figure some virtual, what we call open houses, the events that we talked about. We're trying to figure out some of those. We'll have some news on those soon. We are doing what everybody else is doing, is trying to really be able to make that connection virtually as
Mhm.
much as we
Mhm.
possibly can. I
Yeah.
will say we've been doing our Meet the Team days virtually now for about 3 weeks.
Nice.
And last week alone, we had 3 Meet the Team days virtually. We have 4 scheduled for this week.
Okay, so for the people that are listening that don't know what that means, what
Yeah.
is a Meet the Team Day?
So during the franchise development process, it's really one of the later stages where you generally come and you visit the franchisor. You get to meet
Mhm.
the entire leadership team and team of people that are supporting you as a prospective franchisee. But like everything, it's a franchise agreement. In our case, a franchise disclosure document is a 10-year marriage. And so we want to make sure both parties are
That's
super
right.
excited to be with each other. And so it's an opportunity for us to get to know the prospective franchisee and them to get to know us. And then we talk after that and make sure that it's the right partnership. And when it comes down to it, Phyllis, you know better than I. It's not only about the fit, it's about the timing too.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, thank you very much for your time. I don't want to
Thank
run
you.
over 30 minutes, but I've really enjoyed this, and I'm going to post this up on LinkedIn also.
All right.
So
Super.
thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you,
look
Phyllis. Have a
forward to
great
us
day.
getting together soon. Thanks.
Take
Bye
care.
now.